All right, here's the question we got asked today. Can my son hire another attorney for his plea bargain in Phoenix, Arizona? We hired an attorney for our son in Arizona to help fight a complex case. Son was 19, graduated high school, worked since 15, played sports since second grade, never been in any kind of trouble with school or the law in our town. The attorney we hired has not been good for him. We tried to get another attorney at the same law firm since we already paid $25,000 to them, but they gave us the runaround. It's a complex case. It feels like other co-defendants are getting off pretty easy, but the evidence shows and the victim has that he looked nervous and afraid. With the plea offer, our son will do 5 years of prison and probation after. Our attorney just stayed quiet in court, so what I need to know is, can we hire an attorney to represent our son on this plea bargain, or is it too late? I only ask because his attorney told him he can fire him and hire another attorney. He just never seemed to want to fight 100% for his son. All right, common question. This happens all the time. You get to the end of your case, you're like, hey, I don't like my attorney. What can we do? There's a handful of options here. One, it sucks. It hates when you're in this position. I hate that clients call us all the time saying, we hate our law firm. Our lawyer's not fighting for us. We want something new. And a lot of the times we say, look, technically, yes, you're allowed to hire us. You're allowed to hire anybody you want for your case as long as your case isn't over. And that's kind of the key here, though. And why we usually at Future First won't take a case like this is because you're so far into your case that it's really not possible for us to really make any big difference. One of the things that's important here is if your son has already signed the plea deal, it's too late. There's nothing that we can do to get him out of that plea deal unless there's something grossly wrong with the law, with that plea deal. Basically something like, no, I didn't sign it. That was my twin brother who signed it, right? Something that crazy, incredibly rare. And again, the thing here is, even if you hire us, a week before you go to sign that plea deal, it's like, switching pitchers in the 9th inning of your baseball game and you're already losing the game, right? You didn't even score any points and the other team has 5 points against you, and you go and put in the new pitcher, and it's like, even if this is the best pitcher in the world, there's nothing they can do to help you, score 5 points all of a sudden. And so it's like hiring a really good firm way at the end of your case doesn't really make any sense, because we can't guarantee that we're going to make things better with such a short amount of time. So it really sucks. You're out $25,000, which is a ton of money to spend on a case, first of all. And then on top of that, I guarantee they're probably not going to give you any money back because they represented you for pretty much the entire case. And then you're going to have to go and hire another firm and pay whatever thousands of dollars extra on top of that, all to sometimes get the same result. And obviously, if you don't even get a good result there and you say, I don't even want to accept the plea deal, then now you're going to get stuck going to trial, which you may not want to do. You may get a worse punishment at trial. Things might get better at trial, but it costs even more money to go to trial. So unless you're just made of money, which most of us aren't, it really sucks to be in this situation. Yeah, you kind of have some options, but not really much. Hopefully you would have voiced earlier in your case to your lawyer, to the law firm, that you weren't satisfied, that it felt like they weren't fighting. It's also really hard to compare, what your client's getting versus, what your son's getting versus what other co-defendants are getting. It's just really hard. Every situation is a little different, and prosecutors, they choose to go harder on some than others. It's all about getting a good lawyer, a good law firm at the beginning of your case, so that way you start the game with your best pitcher on the mound, right? You don't sit there and save us till the 9th inning to save a game that you can't save. You got to start strong in these cases, and that's really the best advice that I can give here is really, obviously, don't get in trouble. But if you're not happy with your law firm, the sooner you let them know, the better. The sooner you say, hey guys, stop doing work, I'm going to go hire somebody else. And then you actually have to go and hire them. The judge isn't going to be like, yeah, here, I'll let your case sit around for another 6 months while you find a lawyer. No, they want you replaced as fast as possible. So really sorry you and your son, your family's experiencing this. I'm sure, if there was a way we could go back in time, things would be better, but there's not. And so that's really what you're stuck with at this point.